Live and direct from the 1-6. Yo, check out the Hudson on PCP when I'm dusting. Infidels off, and that's right, dust them off, infidels, because it's Monday. No dirt on your shoulders. We're ready to go. Hit this week hard, heavy and fast, because Halloween's right around the corner, and it's time to get real spooky with some tribal grief. And you better buy my Kendo sticks, because I got a whole bunch of them that they didn't use and left under the ring last night at Hell in a Cell. It's the Monday morning locker room with Dr. Ted and Hacker Hamin. YOLO.
You are my tribal chief.
You are my tribal grief, buddy, but not for me. You're always alleviating headaches instead of creating them, and that's why I love having the man beast back on the scene here at Hamin Media Group. Everybody hitting on all cylinders. It's been a great week around here, launching the patreon.com/Hamin Media Group. Now I got even more goddamn work to do, but that's all right. It's all creative, and I'm very excited about it. And thank you to everybody who was an early adopter for that first Rip Rogers FR podcast, signing up over there at patreon.com/Hamin Media Group. Also, a 15-minute teaser on Hacker Hamin on your iTunes, Podbean, Spotify. So go get a little taste of the learning tree from the hustler. And then if you can support, go over and do it, guys. But again, appreciate everybody who's an early adopter over there at patreon.com/Hamin Media Group. I got plenty to do today to get you more content, because I know you're paying now top dollar for it. So we're gonna keep our main platform free like we always did. Shows aren't going anywhere. Monday Locker Room, Wednesday Horseman, Friday AEW Light the Fuse. Everything that's free is staying free. Anything that's going to be on HMG that's special content on Patreon, it's coming out of this office. It's going to be high level, and you guys know what you're getting here. We're not slowing down for anybody. New Russo brand video up too. I just did, but right now he's up. He's got the spiked hair. He's got the gel in it. He's making me jealous of even having hair. It's my man, Dr. Ted. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning, Ben. You know, the thing is, you're actually adding more free content to the Hamin Media brand with the 6-star search. That was part of the affiliate pages. We just as much as we wanted to grow a paid brand, want to grow our free brand too, because it's just as important, because good content should absolutely be free. And so we want to be able to provide that. But I have to say, unfortunately, I'm feeling a little bit of tribal grief this morning, Ben. I've been kicked out of the man cave, and so here we are. And it looks like let's just say I'm not wearing any pants right now.
That's right, pal. That's right. You're not here in appreciate everybody in the chat room here at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman. So many URLs to follow us on. I wish I had a style class branding, but it's all right. Conspiracy Horseman is our flagship show. I see our leader in chief over there in the UK.
I am the head of the table, the tribal chief.
Young Athers is over there. Cujo's back in the house. Woke Smokey B, Evil Lord Vaden, and J. Hal and Kaz, our own propaganda master, first to the chat room here this morning. Twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman. Had plenty of watch-alongs from the Friday Night SmackDown Live self-help group to the UFC You Can't See Me watch-along, to Bound for Glory, to Hell in the Cell this weekend, man. It was jam-packed from sun up till the next morning, really, here at Hamin Media Group. So we appreciate all you guys hanging in there and having a good time with us all weekend long. Oh, I am stiff, beast. I got one of those goddamn knots in my shoulder blade that shuts down your neck on one side. So
yeah, the trap. Oh, you probably can't do it in that chair, but when we're done here, find a solid chair that you can sit down in and grab your hand around the base of the chair on that side, and then slowly lean away and tilt your head away, and that will try to stretch out that upper trap there.
Got it. I'm going to have to do something serious when we get done here. That's for sure. I got plenty of video editing to do too, but man, I am thankful. It's super creative work, even though I put in 92 hours last week, 88 this week, and it was all just really fulfilling. And then my escape to the woods, a beautiful morning. I was out there 6:15 a.m. I taped some stuff for the Hamin Media marketing tier that I have to recut while I was hunting today. But man, I was walking up through the woods in the dark, and all of a sudden I hear at me, and I'm like, oh shit, there's a deer within 50 yards of me, but I can't see it because it's pitch dark, and it's opening season of rifles. So you don't fuck around and just, even though it's on Hoopdilla the butcher's property, and it's posted. I don't take shots in the dark just on movement alone. That's a good way to end up killing somebody. So I was like, all right, I'm in the right spot, so I'm just gonna creep. It took me 2 hours to go about a half a mile. That's how slow I was going. Like 2 steps, hold for 2 minutes, 2 tiny baby steps, hold for 2 minutes. That's how long. Patience. And as the sun's coming up and you just fade into your surroundings. So I started coming up this first little hill, and all of a sudden deer stood up. I see a white ass and just takes off. I was like, oh shit, jump. And then I come around this, bottom of a button hook on a hill where I knew that deer was up high. Jumped her again. It was the same one I took the shot at and missed the week before. So I missed her clean. She wasn't wounded. I saw her another time. And then a big ass owl out of nowhere comes screeching out of nowhere, scared the shit out of me too. I just about fell on the hill. Dude, I was like, holy fuck. It came within about 20 feet of my head, dude. I was just like, what the fuck is going on? So that kind of interaction where I'm on my ninja stalk and I'm putting all the hunting skills my grandfather and father and uncles have taught me in use. And I'm just fading into the surroundings and hearing everything. And you can't move because there's so many leaves down.
You're basically the Pocahontas of the hunting world.
That's what people call me, is the Pocahontas of the hunting world. I've been known as that for a long time now. But like all those leaves down, you can't move fast because you're walking on tin foil and potato chips, like it's so loud. So you got to go that slow. And to be playing tag with that little doe just made me feel like, all right, dude, you got this. You're in the right spot. And the last time I saw her, she was 10 feet from where I had shot at her. So I feel like I've got it pretty well wired for success. But that's a great day in the woods, man, as far as I'm concerned, to shake it off and then see that I didn't wound an animal that I was really worried about, and she's up and running already. So it was a action-packed weekend for me, Beast. I'm not gonna lie.
It sounds like it. I don't know how you do it, man. It's I sometimes think I have too much going on, but then you go and you double the amount of things I feel like I'm doing. So
everybody, it doesn't mean you're not working hard. Believe me, even doing half of what I'm doing is still doing. I'm not being like you're doing half, but like even doing that much is a fucking ton, man.
All right, it's a lot.
And I want to say thank you for all the great thumbnails you do for Russo brand. A lot of people pop me. They go, these thumbs are awesome. You go through some of the comments. They're like, I laughed just at the thumb before I even listened to the video and shit. But that's all our own Ted McNailer, man, doing awesome work on Hamin Media Group YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, click for notifications over there. The thumbnails are just top notch, and Russo brand as well. A great step up. And I thank you to be flexible to when you can get those to me that you do that, man. That really helps me out a lot.
Well, I really enjoy the creativeness of it. I'm just glad people are enjoying them, because I video editing and picture editing just years ago was something I never would have thought I wanted to do. And then as I started getting into it a few years back, whenever I started back with OVW after I got out of school, I just started to teach myself because I wanted to be able to make ads for OVW and make them better. And then over time, I mean, I'm still by no means, friggin' Picasso of making thumbnails, but at the same time, I feel like I've gotten at least to the point where I know how to make them pop and make them fun. And I really sometimes make myself laugh when I make them. And so if other people are having a good time with them, I'm just glad to be able to bring a little bit of joy while at the same time being able to expand my creative brain, I guess you could say.
Well, we buy with our eyes before we ever test the product, right? And then the packaging is essential, and that's exactly what you're doing in your style class on that. From what I ask for and what you deliver is just awesome every time. I get excited when they come in because I'm like, oh, the Stevie Ray one's awesome. Oh, that's an awesome one. Some of them are super funny and witty, and you definitely get your art in there, man. And they're great. They are great.
Speaking, well, my timing is messed up because I was getting ready to pull one up for the.
Okay, it's Monday morning, guys. Hopefully you're doing good. Hopefully you got that Brosters Vince Russo bro going through you. Yeah, I like that one. Stevie Ray 2024. He's got my vote, bro.
Yeah, mine too.
My fucking vote. He's exactly who we need, in my opinion, dude. Ain't nobody gonna step to a genius mind and worker and a body guy like that and tell him what the fuck to do, bro. Like when that guy speaks at the UN or any place, your ass is going to shut the fuck up and listen. Otherwise you're going to get the Harlem hangover. And maybe a couple of them need a good old Harlem hangover in fucking Congress. That'd be some C-SPAN ratings right there. That would get the ratings right through the roof.
And I have one grievance though with Stevie Ray running for president 2024, and that's I would much rather have Stevie Ray in 2020.
I agree.
That's my one grievance.
Yep, that couldn't happen. Stevie now, we need it. As we come into the craziest of the crazy weeks here, you guys. I mean, even this weekend, more Hunter Biden cock pictures, and I mean, he's hung like too cold Scorpio, so good for him. But when it comes down to it, it's going to cost your cock's going to cost your old man the election. Your dick cost me the election. That's going to be a tough fucking Thanksgiving around the old Biden camp. All doing lines of blow, yelling at each other about how they lost. Holy fuck.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting month. We're really getting into the weeds now, I guess.
I wouldn't mind getting in the weed. It's a little bit early, but fuck it. Man. What else went down this week? There's just so much. I actually got to put over John Hartnett and Javid and from our Cage Theory Society 8582, another dude that hangs out here a lot, who's into the online betting scene. I'm a rookie. I'm real green when it comes to it, and I did good out of the gate, and then I got my ass handed to me for the last 2-3 weeks straight. I like to do the parlays between UFC, college football, and pro football. Like, I just think, like, I can't bet high because I fucking lose my mind. If I lose $1, I'm ready to, like, when the 49ers cost me $2, I wanted their fucking plane to get shot down on the way home. Like, I get too fucking vindictive over stupid losses. If it's a straight loss and there's some like side picks and whatnot where I hedge against it, I don't have a problem. But like when you should go over strong on a team and you just eat shit and die and you fuck up like 5 of my picks, you're done with me. And for $5, you've cut your own throat, San Francisco 49ers. But, this week I hit 2 10-team parlays, a 7, a 5, and on like $23 betting, I think I cleared like $120, man. So I probably had the best weekend at HMG, and my pick'em challenges might not have cleared as much, but when it comes to listening to the guys from Cage Theory and all the great online betting guys with what they have to steer me in the right direction, and what I've watched from the games themselves and put forward, it really has been awesome having those guys on there, because I started with just $100 because I believe in those guys. Be like, fuck it, let's roll the dice and see where it goes. And now I've tripled that since over the summer, really. So pretty happy about it, man. Those guys are doing great things. Cage Theory, this week's UFC was probably one of the best I've seen in a long time. The matchups were awesome. Everybody was like there's some squashes where you're like, you think somebody's going over, but the dude they went over on was no fucking joke either, man. So there were some sick knockouts, good submissions, girls fights were strong, and the main event was good with Khabib retiring at 29-0. His father just passed away and he was in his corner his whole life. Very emotional, good victory. But people are like, oh, he's done. No, he's done for 18 months to 2 years. So they build another baby face, and then he'll be the truth. Everyone, he's the truth. And fucking and then out comes Khabib out of retirement to either beat him or put him over. We've seen this 100 times. Matt Hughes, George St. Pierre. I mean, it's just part of the marketing at this point. So it's good to put him on the shelf when he did that at that level, man. But it was a damn good UFC. Unfortunately, Bound for Glory and Hell in the Cell did not stand up. Hell in the Cell, for reasons of bad creative and booking choices. Bound for Glory, a lot of just like what could possibly go wrong now. Beast, did you get to see either of those? I was hoping there might be some no
context commentary.
No context commentary.
Yes, we do have for Hell in the Cell. We did not unfortunately get a chance to see Bound for Glory. I did see a couple little clips of it, and the stuff I saw wasn't necessarily bad. I saw this Sue Young coming in. I didn't understand why, but I like that. But other than that, I really didn't see much of Bound for Glory.
Yeah, it was kind of doomed, man, from the get-go. They were having audio issues. Josh Matthews is even on camera going, can somebody fix our audio, please? Like real rough stuff. Yeah, and then Dude, the battle royal was going awesome, like for the Wrestle House gang, you know, like it was DCW 101. Work your gimmick, have fun, nobody do anything fucking stupid, take any even girls were in there with guys, so it was fun wrestling, wrestle crap. And Dreamer comes down painted as animal. It was awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah. Havoc got over awesome. They shined her up wicked. She probably looked the best on the pay-per-view because after Havoc shined, everything kind of went to shit. So here comes Heath Slater, bro, and fucking comes in, duck one, hits a fucking big cutter snake. It's RKO reverse, whatever, and fucking lays him out, feeds up fast, full of energy, goes to give a big side kick. I can't remember when I was, maybe Brian Myers, and fucking misses kind of, but like you see he comes down and it lands. And it looked like he might have had a hernia or a torn ab, but he's holding his leg. He can't even stand up. So, like, if he blew it out, it's up high, like a groin injury or something. And then when he was in the hospital, he showed pictures, like, just in his wrestling gear, so you can't really tell legs-wise. But the one looked bigger and blown up that was hurt, but I don't know the injury or what it is yet. But, dude, he laid down, and then Daniel Spencer, right? I'm not sure you guys are still doing the show together or not. But Barnburger.
No, we don't do the show, but we're still friends. We still talk.
Yeah, referee at Impact and from OVW, good dude. He usually hangs out here too. Dude, him and the other ref, forgive me, I don't know his name, the bald guy, but dude, they just running around the ring, Iggy and everybody. Like, first they go right over to Cyrus because Cyrus is on commentaries because they got to switch the finish because it had to be Heath up, you know, from the business. And then they have to switch it to Rhino up and tell everybody and get all the final four. Heath lays there in the corner for like 5 minutes, bro, just holding his shit.
Oh yeah, it was a hernia.
It was a hernia.
Yeah,
that's what I thought too, bro. When I saw it, I've seen a couple hockey players go down with bad ones, and they're like, I've never felt pain like this before. And they're tough hockey guys that I know, and that's what I thought too. Dude, he went down hard, and they had to switch to Rhino, and it's just like, ooh, all the steam got let out, and all the spots that they had for the final four shit out the window, you know. And it was bad, dude. I'm not gonna lie, I felt bad for the guy. Now I gotta say this because it's the Monday locker room. You boys like them B12 shots. You want to get signed taking that B12. You look fucking great on camera. Guess what happens when you put too much muscle mass on a frame too quickly and it doesn't have time to expand, heal the right way, or you know, your body's kind of saying,
or you go past the point where literally the amount of torque your muscles are putting on the joints is past beyond the point of what your joints anatomically or physiologically able to take because your body wasn't designed to carry that much muscle mass.
I think that's exactly what we saw here, bro. Sure, it's a little like weird kick and you land, it could hurt to anybody, hit anybody, but the level of injury that happened like that, I think is directly correlated to this Florida pipeline, bro. And you're going to see more and more of it with guys in AEW and WWE too, who are gassed up, who look fucking great, but they're going to try and do this get your shit in stuff. And the 30 extra pounds of muscle mass that they're carrying on each leg is going to rip right off the bone. It happened to McMahon. It happened to Game. It happened to Nash. And all Nash did was a little jump over, boop, blow out fucking legs. Like that. The side effects of steroids, you can add muscle blowouts to that too when you're trying to do it. Because if you're just hanging out and looking good, that's one thing. When you're trying to use it for functional athleticism, there's a big chance you're going to tear something, bro. And I think that's what we saw here on that. Then the other fucking big kick in the nuts too, which was weird. And like, what happened is
what happened? Is Will Wed Wagon.
Yeah, Kylie Ray in the women's with Deonna Purrazzo. We've been building. They show the pre-tape of Kylie Ray in the story, and then Deonna comes out and cuts kind of a lackluster promo and confused about what's going on, or now it's an open challenge. They don't really stooge off what's happening. And then Sue Young comes out in shorts and a bra, like sexy enough, but with all her zombie makeup on, you're like, all right, should I jack off or run away in fear. But like, you know, that was what it was. And then they put Su Yung over. She's not even in her full gimmick over Deanna after just signing her and making her. I'm like a real head scratcher. Put her over clean. Word on the sheets is that nobody knows or they don't know what's up with Kylie Ray. She was on another show that may have been exposed to COVID. Somebody was there. So they're like trying to put it over that she was because of that. But then more comes out that she was actually in town for Impact, was there, asked about what time the call was, and then nobody heard from her. Like she faded out after that. I don't know what the true story is, what's coming out or anything along those lines, but it's not like she missed a flight or was home being COVID, quarantined. And now it seems like some weird, maybe mental breakdown. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but here we had her leaving AEW under a weird circumstance there. And people were like, it had something to do with Jericho and sexual assault or whatever. And like, nobody knows the true story, or that could all be rumors, you know, but her leaving there and coming here is weird. Then this is weird. And I think she had a tryout at NXT before AEW and didn't get it, maybe, or was she in the Mae Young? I can't remember. But dude, if she did bad business here, like that's not a good look. Leaving AEW, coming to Impact, doing more bad biz and fucking up that pay-per-view. I felt bad for him because she's been on a tear. She's probably been the woman that they've built the best, letting her do her gimmick, and then her wrestling backs it up, you know. Deanna has a lot of work to do as a promo and finding her character, but Deanna can go in the ring. So we were looking forward to something here, and then out of nowhere, we get a title change on Su Yung not even doing her full gimmick. Another weird thing at Bound for Glory.
Yeah, it was interesting. Although certainly, I mean, we still don't know the true situation. Maybe, you know, it did come out that she showed up and then he tested everybody and she had COVID and then wasn't on the show. We don't. I mean, certainly, I mean, other things could be true as well. Either way, I still think it could have been done possibly better. I think Deonna Purrazzo could have gotten more heat by trying to get out of it, and then have, you know, maybe a Scott D'Amore coming out looking, you know, kind of scared and like it's blood on him, and be like, there needs to be a match tonight for the time. You know what I mean? And you know, we don't know why he looks all scared, freaked out, and like, this is your opponent. And then Su Yung comes back, and then maybe, I'm just spitballing here, maybe you have it. Then this next week on Impact, it's Susie again, and she doesn't understand why she is the Impact Knockouts champion, and Kylie Ray shows back up. Well, maybe not if she has COVID, but you know, then you could play that out maybe that way, and that would make it at least interesting without necessarily, you know, completely, you know, shitting on the business. I think you could still go places with that, because it's something they've at least built for a while with her turning into Su Yung. I think it was shotgun, but at this point, maybe you could do like a back and forth gimmick to try to get the most, you know, basically making chicken salad. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just seemed like they were ill prepared in the storyline. I think that worked better to suit her in there, because Deanna should have left being like, she forfeits and bury her. But if she's got COVID, why save it? Just say she has COVID, which is the weird part to me, because that'd be right. Super acceptable. Everyone's used to it and whatnot. And they didn't even use that as the cover story, which means to me in a locker room way, they don't want to let her off the hook because she did bad business, because that would be easy enough just to pull that trigger on camera and say, fuck it, you know? So I hope she's mentally healthy, wealthy, and wise. She was on the push. Her body's probably in some of the best shape in Impact to show that I want to be on TV. All the work ethic stuff that I've seen goes against it, but who knows in this age of generation useless what mental breakdowns can cause you to fucking blow your wrestling career, you know, or, you know, I hope it's not that, but we'll see, man. So that was strange. Then then in the main event, no, the semi-main, was it? Yeah, semi-main. The North goes over in a good victory. Hakeem Zayn retained too. That match had some dumb spots in it where they tried to get everybody into these stupid positions, but at least heels up and Zayn's
I saw one of those. Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Fucking hate that shit, bro. And then but then in the tag, fucking Motor City Machine Guns are coming out, and and they go up and they just fucking cut off Shelly and Sabin at the fucking top. Shelly in a butterfly fucking pile driver. They give it to him hard as fuck on the ramp. So he's down and out. And then Sabin's got to go in and be the little guy by himself trying to chop back and forth. It looks so stupid. But I'm like, is Shelly hurt and they needed something big to take him out at the top of the fucking show so he couldn't work or not? Because he never came back and did the Terry Funk, I'm going to save you.
Right.
His head all bandaged and shit. They just
Spirit of 76. Just
they killed the motherfucker, left him there, and out comes everybody to check on him. So either they were just going to do that spot and leave him, and then he was going to come back, or they did the spot, killed him, and then we're like, fuck, we just killed this guy. Now we got to go on the fly. But I don't think so from the way the rest of the match was. I think maybe Shelly's hurt. They didn't do it, and that was a way to get him out. But, dude, hey, how can we get him out of here? Inverted butterfly pile driver should do it on the fucking ramp. Yeah, why not?
Let's go through the Rolodex. And
we haven't seen so that was fucked. And dude, you could just see Josh Matthews was like in the place of like, fuck it, what could possibly go wrong now? You know what I mean? And you could see
I've been there. I will say, as a broadcaster, I've been there, and it's like sound doesn't work. I remember when we did the real quick, the 1000th episode of OVW was our first live broadcast ever. It was an hour, 2-hour special, and apparently for the first 20 minutes, we didn't realize it till literally the fourth segment. Commentary was completely turned off.
Brutal.
And why is because the sound guy at 4th Street Live, who is in charge of the audio for our show, which I don't understand why that was a thing in the first place, went to go take a smoke break right as the show began and left the dial.
I remember that. Power was hot. He was telling me about it. I fucking remember that. Oh shit, that's rough, man. Welcome to professional wrestling.
So
they also had one backstage before that with Rhino and Heath, where they're starting their scene, and then Rhino goes, "Hold on, let them finish over there." Like Heath says his first lines, and then there's somebody off camera talking. Rhino's like, "Hold on." They finish, and then he goes, "Count us down, 3, 2." Heath says the same line again. All of that was on the pay-per-view. Like,
well,
that was funny as fuck as I coughed through it. I was just like, wow.
Was that, do you think though that was intentional or no?
No.
I didn't see it, but whoever the reviewer was what I was reading seemed to think it was intentional.
Definitely not intentional, bro.
Really?
You and I starting a scene, you say your line, and I'm about to go, and then somebody's talking, and I'm going to go, hold on. We're recording. Okay. 3, 2, do your line again. There's no way that was intentional, bro.
Yeah,
no way. So, and then in the main, they worked heat, but it was a believable heat because, which was a dumb thing. Swan, who looks great with the shaven face. I think he should definitely keep his face shaved. He looks different. It's a good look for him. He goes on the outside of the apron and do some headstand reverse thing. And I don't know if he got kicked off or what, I can't remember, but it looked like he jacked his neck super bad, like fucked up because he hits the ground. And then the refs come over to check on him, like, you know, shoot check. And he's like, oh, fucked up. Then Eric Young comes over, grabs him by the head, and the ref's like, hold on. And Eric's like, oh, so he backs off to make sure his neck's not fucked up. Eric gets in the ring. They're giving Swan a second. Get back in there, but then Young goes right to work on the neck on Heat. So it was really just a good sell, but after seeing all that shit,
right, you don't know.
Like, did this motherfucker just break his neck in the main too on a what could possibly go wrong next? But dude, Bound for Glory was bound for tragedy from the fucking get-go.
Was the main good though, at least?
It was passable. The best match was the North going over for the tag titles. Really good. And the Battle Royal was awesome until Heath's injury. I just none of it was like Impact sucks. I just really felt really bad for the entire roster because
they worked really hard. Yeah, between production issues, guys getting hurt. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily seem like it was all because it was bad. It was more so because they had some really bad luck on that particular night.
Just one after the other, bro. You know, I could just see in Josh Matthews, in fucking Cyrus, and even Dreamer's reactions. Like they're
heart-wrenching when it's happening live too, and it's just like, oh, I've been there. I said we just talked about it.
I was picturing me, you and Power, or me, Josh and Steve, and fucking just like, oh,
like I'm feeling it like as we're talking about it in my gut right now, just like, feeling of just that's damn it.
And fans watching, they'll feel one way, but if you've ever been a producer of a show and you've seen things go wrong and then another thing goes wrong and you just put the headphones down and got to walk away, you're like, fuck. And sometimes it's the performer's fault. Sometimes it's Murphy's Law, like they said in the chat. And other times it's like egos and all these little things after people have been working so hard since Wrestle House and getting it right. And this is the payoff. And dude, it all just went through no big fault of their own. Just like, why are we cursed tonight, bro? It was bad. I felt bad for them.
Yeah, I do too. And there's still, there's plenty of times where, one bad thing goes wrong and either it's corrected and the show goes on fine, or sometimes even something goes wrong and something even better comes out of it. But sometimes things like this happen where it's just like a string of them, and it's hard to get momentum back into a show after like a couple of things happen back to back like that. Yeah. I'll say on the thing with Alex Shelley, I saw that they pulled him out, or he pulled out apparently of some kind of other show. So he may have had a legitimate injury, or on the other end, or they were just putting it over.
I know if I got a legit injury and I had to pull from shows, I'm not going to go, all right, guys, give me the butterfly pile driver.
That's the one. Nothing else will do.
Double underhook, man. Yeah, the main event was way too long too, but I think that's because they had to pull time because of what was supposed to happen in the Heath Slater Battle Royal in the Final Four. I think they had to really
was probably gonna be a long drawn out thing.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I just no hate on anybody there and the job they did. It was just these, circumstances that all just stacked up one on top of the other. They were a big shit sandwich and everybody had to take a bite. It was bad. Hell in the Cell, really bad. Dude, the first match over and over.
His name is Stevie Richard.
Whoops, not that.
You are my tribal chief. And I am the head of the table, the tribal chief. You are my tribal chief. And I am the head of the table, the tribal chief.
Over and over again. Corey Graves goes, this all could have been avoided if Jey Uso would have just acknowledged Roman Reigns as his tribal chief. I go, there goes the sound. Time for hip hop. Fuck you. Just the most brutal fucking operant Pavlovian conditioning. So when you hear,
you are my tribal chief,
you just fucking, dude, it makes you want to claw my eyeballs out, dude. Like Graves got that whole commentary team's got to go. They are just shit. Michael Cole has been shit since his inception. I don't care how many years he's been there as a stooge, what have you, even to the point up to now when his job is safe that he's trying to fuck with McAfee at WrestleMania. It shows you just how low level these guys are. And McMahon's in here, say tribal chief. Tell him he's the goddamn tribal chief. Over and over and over. Then he gets him under the steps. You tell me that I'm the tribal chief, that I'm the head of.
That I am the head of the table, the tribal chief.
Over and over and over and over and over. Shut the fuck up and wrestle and show, don't tell. Show, don't tell. Do you understand what that means? Over there, I know Jimmy does, and I know a couple others do, but you sure as hell don't do it on your pay-per-views. And it's just absolutely, the audience is gone. The audience is lost at the first fucking thing. Like they don't care anymore. You've worn them out in the very first thing. And now we have to sit through all this shit and all these big Romans crying. And here comes Jimmy Uso to protect them. And then at the end, they bring out fucking Afa and Sika.
I did pop for that.
I did too, but here's the thing. WWE is the fucking COVID hotspot. Hey, bring in the 80-year-olds. Could we fucking risk these old bastards' health anymore and look more like marks during the COVID era to not protect our legends? What if one of them gets COVID now and fucking dies in the next month or two, bro?
When Vince told him he has an idea for one last run for the Wild Samoans, they didn't understand what he really meant. That
it was cool. It was a good visual. I'm not saying it's not, but that just opens you up to say, look at what marks WWE are for themselves. During a time of COVID, they're going to bring in two guys who fucking could easily catch it and be in the top percentage of doing that. That's a risk for PR I'm definitely not worth taking. And even with Roman, if the motherfucker has leukemia, I want to say chemo, that's what they treat it with, but fucking leukemia, why is he being exposed in this fucking possible hotbed of COVID? Like, they just don't give a fuck, and moves like that absolutely expose them while we have to listen to fucking
I am the head of the table, the tribal chief.
Over and over and over again, bro. Like, really brutal way to start the pay-per-view.
There you have it. Well, you know, and usually I switch up the order, Ben, but I think since we're talking about it, we might as well jump into it. You want to hear right now?
Please.
That today's edition. I gotta get it adjusted here. Now that I'm in this room here, I gotta move my microphone so I can see the screen because I'm blind without my glasses. Dead air is the best thing for radio, you know.
There we go.
Now we're good to go, and I feel like one of the Jimmies, right?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is No Context Commentary. So every month during the pay-per-view, I make my wife sit down and watch WWE pay-per-views or whatever pay-per-view happens to be on, and she doesn't watch on a regular basis. So from someone that doesn't watch regularly, these were the thoughts of one of those individuals. This is No Context Commentary, Hell in the Cell edition. Roman Reigns is just one of those pretty boys I want to tell, shh. He's a better talker than Brock, at least.
Mm-hmm.
That's dumb. He got laid again. Wearing white means he's still a virgin, which I don't think is true. But, he's standing there long enough for his beauty shot. I think we got it. Wait, so those are just some random wild Samoans running around? And I had to explain to her who the wild Samoans were. They weren't just wild Samoans, just randomly coming out. They're not just random wild Samoans backstage. I like this Roman Reigns better. I like Elias. He's like a mix of Chris Silvio and Aaron Stevens, which I thought that's a big compliment.
That is a pretty good. Yeah,
that's kind of right. I could see that.
Fuck yeah.
I don't think I could sit down and spend a day with The Miz. I admit whoever's doing the production actually does a good job, which is probably Jimmy.
Probably.
The nanny's about to put you in timeout. That name makes me think of flapjacks. And when I think of the name Slapjack, that is not at all what I would think of. Is he a juggalo? And then from that point forward, my wife fell asleep and there was no more commentary.
No more.
We can finish the show. That is this week's edition of No Context Commentary.
Thanks a lot, Slapjack. Fucked up for everybody. Appreciate to the missus as well, former OVW women's champion Brittany Beckham. You guys always giving the high insights. I couldn't agree more on a lot of that stuff. Absolutely, dude. And maybe he is a virgin. We're gonna have to look into that. That's something we'll
and maybe Retribution really is a group of juggalos that's looking to take over. We're gonna see ICP be revealed as the true masterminds of Retribution.
ICGGPP.
That's right. But since we're already into it, Ben, I feel like I'd be remiss if we didn't go ahead and get these out of the way. Are you ready for it?
I've been ready for it. My back hurts. I've put in the grind on Patreon. I'm been in the woods. I've been playing golf with sideburns. Let's do it. I'm ready for the Monday morning motherfucking monologue, baby.
Let's jump right into it then. Thank you to 411mania.com for the stories. This is your Monday morning monologue. The Dead Man is back. Well, sort of. With WWE set to launch its 30 Days of the Dead Man series on WWE Network, they're planning to build Survivor Series around The Undertaker's 30th anniversary, with the legend reportedly scheduled to make a live appearance at the event. So let's hope that we do get to see the Dead Man in person and that they're not just baiting us with his dong. That would make me laugh when I wrote it. The Fiend, he attacked Retribution on last Monday's Raw, putting Mace through a table and hitting Sister Abigail on T-Bar. T-Bar then went on Twitter afterwards and said there will be hell to pay. Hell to pay. I can only assume that they're going full crazy here with the storyline, and T-Bar is about to go to hell and get a wig.
hell to pay. WWE has issued a press release and preview highlighting the new free shows and podcasts now available on the free version of WWE Network, because if there's anything wrestling needs right now, it's more talking. And certainly if there's anything the world needs, it's more podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Just what we need, another goddamn podcast. Get it.
Yeah. Well, there's lots more there, but Showbuzz Daily has the overnight ratings for last week's Wednesday Night Wars between AEW Dynamite and NXT. Both shows saw losses in viewership, which was likely to be expected with Major League Baseball World Series airing on Fox. So what can you say, except it looks like that on this particular night, both WWE and AEW simply did not have the balls. Metro UK recently interviewed Paul Heyman, who discussed his partnership with WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, saying, quote, "I would dare say this has been in the works since the day Roman Reigns was born." As we all eagerly count down the days until they reveal Paul Heyman as the true father of Roman Reigns. Believe that. And last but not least, Ben, I'm sorry to say, but it looks like Chad Gable's days of being Shorty G are officially over. After his latest loss on SmackDown, Gable lost to Lars Sullivan and then said in an interview after the match that he was done being Shorty G, and I can only assume Chad Gable is tired of being half the man he knows he's capable of. I mean, I really feel bad for the guy. His neck probably hurts from having to look up at people all day long. You know what I mean? You've really got to hand it to him, mostly because he's too short to be able to reach up there. I'm going to do one more.
Please take it home.
I mean, the guy can't even cook for himself. You know why? Well, Ben, it's because the stakes are too high. That's right. That's a little sizzle to start your day. This has been your Monday morning monologue.
Yeah, that's the word, turds. That's what we like around here, dude.
And I'm just glad Chad Gable wasn't here to hear the jokes, because most of them probably would have gone over his head.
Boom, he comes back. One more. I was going to go another way when we get while he's getting his mic back up here. How about the fact that he's just going to be Gable after this? So is he going to be a gay bull? Is he going to come out with unicorn horns on the side of his head? It very well could be something where they're going to try and get that over. His little monologue was good, but we've seen these. You're not going to do this to me. I'm not a clown. I'm fucking legit now. Trump makeovers over and over again. It worked out really well for Mojo Rawley. That's a guy who really took it and went from a goof to the fucking main event spot with it. So I expect to see more of the same. Great quality, creative, and execution from WWE when it comes to Gable.
Yeah, I didn't know that was the case. So he's just going to, or were you ribbing me?
No, that's the truth. Could you get a little closer to the mic?
Yes, test.
It was just off the side a little more.
Better?
Yeah,
butter?
You're
better?
Yeah.
Butter?
Yeah, man, he's going to be Gable after this, so we'll see. He'll be down at the Blue Oyster cult cutting promos in no time. Oh, beast. That was a great Monday morning monologue and recap of the weekend. But we got to get to the headlines, bro, unfortunately.
All right.
Lance Storm in the news on getting his comedic side on Canada's animated hit Corner Gas. I haven't seen it. He sat down with Wrestle Stink, talked to the house man, and he said, when I was sent the script, I think they were wondering whether I'd be cool with it. It's like, of course I would be. It's an animated comedy series. It's whatever you want it to be. They were really cool. Even the media stuff. I had to provide a graphic of my character, and I got to approve the promotional. I just wanted to be on the show. Storm's character is a retired pro wrestler that does a gardening podcast. That's funny. Storm pointed out that it's not so dissimilar to who he is now, though he does not podcast about gardening. He talked about the dynamics of his character, and then he discusses how his show, the show creator Brent Butt, or Butte maybe, but it's spelled Butt.
No, I like Brent Butt.
Me too. It's funny because I am for the most part a retired pro wrestler that's a podcaster now, but I don't ever cover gardening. I don't ever use the word. But when they deal with some celebrities, some people might be a little more protective of their image. I don't think Brent would ever, because I've met him and I know him a little bit, but when you see it, if I can be serious for a minute, Lance Storm that never smiles, you don't know how seriously he takes himself and whether he's going to appreciate some of the lighthearted, fancy Lance comments in the show. So I think that's cool, man. Lance is a great straight, man in a comedy act that way, to be a no seller, to not get the joke and then have the joke be about him or on him, so we can just react more stone-faced. That stuff was all a great game in Lance Storm's universe. So pretty cool new opportunity there that a lot of wrestlers would love to have, being in an animated cartoon like that.
Yeah, good for him. Apparently, he's still in pretty good shape. I saw in an interview, I think the last week also, he said that he plans to uphold his pact with Chris Jericho, and whenever Jericho's ready to hang up the boots, he's ready to have his last match with him. Since they started, having their first matches together, I was like, that's pretty cool. Lance Storm's still staying in good shape, working on projects, and I'm glad for him.
I agree, man. That's a good reinvention. Yeah, he's in great shape still, as always, he always has been. Braun Strowman says Roman Reigns is getting backstage heat. Yeah, okay. Speaking of sports, Skeeta, Strowman revealed that while he doesn't care for Roman's new attitude, he still has a lot of respect for his rival. He says, look, I'll be honest with you. I'm a little bit shocked by it and pretty appalled. I've had a lot of respect for Roman, even when we were trying to kill each other. He helped me out of a lot in my early career. And then he went away and stuff in the beginning of the pandemic, and I applauded him for being selfish and taking care of himself, family first and foremost. Whenever he's been through or gone through, that was, like I said, we had a long conversation. At the end of the day, I wasn't supposed to be in the position that I was in going to WrestleMania, like the time and time before that and time again after. And when WWE calls my number, I take the ball, I put my head and run as hard as I can, whatever that means. Mm-hmm. I haven't, will always continue to do that for this company. That being said, I don't know where he got this attitude and smug chip on his shoulder, and he's got since he's come back from leukemia, I guess. I don't know if he's got it because of this parasite Paul Heyman's in his ear, filling his head up full with all this crap. Dude, they put C******. They couldn't put crap. Fuck out of here. Wrestle stink and stuff like this, but at the end of the day, I feel like he's carrying the universal entitlement, just an attitude, his whole new attitude, and I'm not really a fan of it. I don't think too many of the guys in the locker room are. I'd like to hate on Braun for this, but he's actually doing a good work shoot here with Sports Skeeta,
sure.
Getting Braun's shit over without exposing the business and whatnot. And believe me, in my opinion, for Braun Strowman to do that compared to wearing a goddamn elf costume,
he took a big step.
Huge fucking step forward. Huge step forward to protect somebody else's business and facilitate his own at the same time. I really didn't care about the story. That's what I want to take away from it. Look at this guy is the biggest, and he'll do it again, social media goof, not protecting his business, and somebody must have got to him, or else maybe it's the Hamin Media Group making him feel fucking real small, trying to go at us, that he might finally start to get how to use this shit as the tool that it's intended to be used for our industry.
Yeah. At least whether it's by someone intervening, or I hope it was him actually, because really the best way is when you get the light bulb, like, oh yeah, I've been a dumbass, I need to change this, versus doing it just because, they told me I had to, so I guess I will. Hopefully it's the former, not the latter.
And people are saying, Matt Schaffer, our own super producer, is in the house. Good morning, buddy. So this is the headline, and Dark Side Cash says, sounds like a work. Of course it's a work and shitty. That's not the point of why I was reading it, to be like, Roman has heat. He has a chip on his shoulder. Fuck out of here. But like the fact that Braun actually did decent business to the sheets instead of fucking exposing himself as a mark for a biz in social media was good. Why Kylie Ray reportedly missed Impact for Bound for Glory. Let's see. It kind of doesn't say. Unforeseen circumstances. Let's see. It appears that the injury is considered to be serious, according to Brian Alvarez. You might have wrestled him once. No other details were known about the injury. Impact had been promoting this match like usual right up until the match took place. So it doesn't really say, but they're putting it on an injury. If that's a way to kayfabe the sheets, that's an easy way to pour some water on the fire of the Heat if there is a mental breakdown or something, you know, that we've seen with these strange behaviors from wrestlers from the level of Braun to plenty of others who freak out and can't take the spot the right way and do good business. So Tessa Blanchard and others. So I don't know, man. It's not going to help what happened to Bound for Glory. We just got to turn the page and keep moving forward. And if she's back on the next set of tapings in some capacity, I got to believe that it's not a freak out in political heat and that it is an injury. If she's not on there, I'd take her off TV. Why would you have somebody no show your pay-per-view and then you're going to give them the push right away again? Because now straight up Public Enemy can't trust it, bro.
And it's true. I would say certainly if it was a behavioral thing and it was skipped out on, then to me that's not forgivable. I mean, that's bad business. Obviously, if it was an unforeseen circumstance and that is some kind of either injury or illness or something like that, then that's a whole other situation, and that's something you deal with.
The chat room's live here at twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman, YouTube, Ben Hamin, both we're live at right now. And Buckshot Kid, who's always here, says she got hurt in indie show. Society 858 says the injury was already debunked. And then Buckshot, okay. Like, that's the thing. Why, if it was just an injury, then just say it was. And even if it was on an indie show and you had to go work it because Impact's not paying you what they should, to be exclusive, then that's the risk Impact runs. Pay Kylie Ray so she don't have to go work indies and there's less chance of her being injured. Buy her for 10 spots, go work all your indies, and then something happens over there. But our TV's fucked up. Well, guess what? That is the gamble of trying to run a shoestring promotion with bubble gums and Band-Aids holding it together. And then something happens and you want to put heat on the person when it's time to pay off on pay-per-view or TV. Well, you can't go, well, you never should have worked those indies. Well, your ass should have fucking paid me more so I didn't have to. See, it's one half dozen one, 6 of the other. So it's a tough call, but even still, this with the debunking or no COVID and is it an injury or isn't, something is rotten in Denmark, because those are both valid excuses and nobody's coming out to put them over and whatnot. And that she was there in town ready for the show, but didn't show. I don't know. I mean, this is all the hearsay. It just doesn't add up to me.
Yeah, it is very peculiar. It'll be, I mean, obviously as the week goes on, I'm sure more information will come out and we'll discuss it on future locker rooms and show the Impact attack. But yeah, right now it seems just very, very strange. And I'm trying to remain hopeful at least that it isn't anything that's, too crazy or that, there was a behavioral issue, because that's just, to me, it's just, it's sad if so, because it's as much as, I might not always agree with Kylie Ray's opinion on things, like with the Johnny Swinger, get rid of Rizats, and that was kind of like,
sure.
But at the same time, I still have to recognize her as a very talented performer. And, I certainly never want to see anyone that, lose themselves mentally because of this, because it's not worth it.
No, and we still don't know what went down at AEW, which makes it kind of a weird thing on top of this. You know what I mean? Neither were justified or explained.
Right.
Not that they have to be, but the world is watching and the sheets are watching always. The sheets went kind of crazy, and I had to smack around, not hard by any means, just give them a little dig on the Russo brand fan group. If somebody was like, oh, it was on the pre-show and it didn't matter. Well, you're a fucking idiot and you didn't watch the show, and now you're shooting your mouth off in front of high-level wrestling fans, because it didn't happen in the beginning of the show. It happened in the middle. When Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson inducts Ken Shamrock in the Hall of Fame. Well, he didn't induct them. He sent a message to the baddest man on the planet from Rock pre-tape from his backyard, like we've seen. And it was a nice little message to Ken Shamrock, dude. And to see The Rock on Impact, even in a pre-tape, is massive. I mean, that's a massive thing. So, and Shamrock more than deserves that. And why can't we cross over to celebrate him that way? But that just shit gets me hot sometimes with even their brand loyalists and whatnot, where they're like, it wasn't even on the show. And I'm like, dude, I was like, it definitely was. So stop running your fucking mouth on Facebook like you know what the fuck you're talking about when you didn't even watch the product and you're just trying to throw some shade on some shit. And regardless, if it was on the pre-show, who cares? Like, it's The Rock crossing over there. That's the story, and paying respect to Rock.
Here's the thing, though. In my opinion, this should have been on the pay-per-view. This should have been hyped up on television. That's where they're really trying to get more viewership. And I think them hyping up, hey, the Dwayne The Rock Johnson has something he's going to say for Hall of Fame inductee Ken Shamrock. Next week, for the first time ever, Dwayne The Rock Johnson will be, making this taped appearance, right here on Impact Wrestling, and you have to watch to see it. So, yeah, to me, I think that was an opportunity that was missed because I don't think you're going to get as much long-term business from a one-off pay-per-view buy as you are someone potentially tuning in to the channel for the first time and then hopefully getting hooked on the product.
You're already screwed. If you're drawing 160 to 200,000, let's say their pay-per-view buys at 25%. That's 40,000, 20 to 40,000 people watching. Like, not really the best max value and bang for your buck on that one.
Yeah. And if anything, the matches themselves are what was selling that show. I didn't even know that was going to be on the show. I knew that was coming up at some point. I didn't realize it was going to be on this pay-per-view, but that got lost in the shuffle for me as far as I didn't even know that was something they were doing on the program. So I think that should have been a television special personally, because I think that would have, again, been a good long-term business decision trying to hook some viewers in.
Do you think with 19 other guys his size, Matt Schaffer can take Ken Shamrock, or is Shamrock still up?
If Ken Shamrock is laying face down with his hands tied behind his back, I think he might have a chance. Okay.
Daniel Price is in. They just got to find 18 more. So good luck to you guys. I don't want to get hit by that motherfucker. Fuck that.
We need both.
Randy Orton takes shot at Batista following Hell in the Cell victory. There's a legend. Orton took a shot at his former stablemate, stating that there were 3 legends and an actor, clearly not valuing Batista's contribution. There's a graphic they put out, 50 world titles and counting. It's Evolution. So Batista, Orton, Flair, and Triple H. Batista was 6, Orton with 14, Flair was 16, Game with 14. And then Orton just responds to it with hashtag legends, ... and an actor. Ooh, little shotsy. So this is Orton being smart, trying to bring Batista back in with some real heat in front of the sheets, because Orton's smart and he knows how to work it. And maybe he does have some heat with him, and that crossover is the best. But the reality is this looks real and could start the program of bringing Batista back to do a little run right here, especially now that movies are shut down. Maybe that's exactly what Batista wants to do. So
go ahead. I was going to say, I really, really hope Batista fires back with just a simple message. It's just box office draw. Dave Batista and the money that he's made and or the box office for all the movies that he's done, and then Randy Orton below it, because that would be yeah.
Boom. Or show what's the Guardians of the Galaxy, and then the Marine
whatever.
Put it next to each other, draw numbers, you know what I mean? That would be fucking great. And I would love to see. That's a good story.
Yeah, I like it.
You went Hollywood. I stayed true to my roots. You never gave a fuck about this shit. You were just a big bouncer from DC that somebody sent to OVW, and they turned him into something after Deacon Bautista and what the fuck was Leviathan, right? Yeah. And Cornette's wife sucking everybody's cocks all over the place, and fucking and then he's the star, but he's in and out, not that Batista didn't have a real run. He did. Yeah. You know what I mean? He absolutely did. But dude, I like this juicy little fucking shit back and forth. I hope this is where we go. And it isn't, these guys are just too smart to be selling like marks for each other on the internet. Right. So I totally believe this is a high level work, and I like it. I like that shit.
Yeah. Especially if they know the right buttons to push. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, I like it too.
In that final 4 in Bound for Glory, the stipulation for Bound for Glory that Heath and Rhino were in the gauntlet, won the gauntlet. They both would be gone from the company for good if they didn't win. Given that Rhino entered at number 1 and Heath at 18, it's potentially lucky from pure creative standpoint that the ECW legend was still in the ring when his partner was injured. Yeah, it's completely that. But they made the audible to have Rhino up there to save the story. But dude, I went back and watched it when they eliminated Heath on the shit can, he did the fat man fucking fall over right on the hernia, bro. Like you could see the 5 minutes he was laying there, he realized he had to get shit canned and it was gonna suck dicks, bro. Real bad.
Yeah.
What comment do I like? Oh, Cujo nailed it, bro. I just misclicked. Pop. Y'all. What else we got here? That's the Heath injury. He tweets out, "This sucks, guys. I'm sorry to everyone, but big thanks." Man, and his right leg does look blown up. It could just be the picture, but that hernia is a motherfucker, man. There's no way to really come back from that, aside from letting it rest for like a year, I think, and like doing
not necessarily. It depends. Just with any kind of tear or injury, it depends on the severity of the hernia itself. So that depends on how bad it is. But hopefully, speedy recovery for Heath.
I'll tell you what, for a guy,
but it won't be next week. That's for sure.
For a guy who's a tough, fast wrestler, bro, it dropped him in the middle of the match. It dropped him. He tried, and you could just see the frustration of like something ain't right, and I can't do nothing. Whew, chills. That shit gives me chills, bro. What's up here? All Elite Wrestling, you might have heard of them, has a star hospitalized after injury at this week's TV taping. And I hate to see this because I hate to see anybody get injured and working bad, but I was able to go out to Rocky Mountain Pro based off of Vince's recommendation with Al Snow and Stevie Richards and teach some character stuff. And this girl stood out as far as I didn't get to see her in makeup, but I could see her taking hacker notes and like getting it. All the girls there really stood. Not the guys were they were good dudes, but a lot of them had egos, like the upper level guys already, and nobody knows who they are. And the girls were like, I want to get signed. How the fuck do I become great? So, and Matt Yaden runs a good fucking show out there, man. Absolutely big shout out. And that's where Abaddon came from. But I guess she was on the apron and took a big fucking snabis to the neck and went just like slid down. And this is what I get from Huge Report. And like they thought busted trachea or something along those lines because she couldn't breathe. People were get an inhaler, da 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 da. She just couldn't breathe or nothing. So they took her out and it took like a half hour, I guess, to get her out of the arena. Like it was pretty serious, bro. And this is right on the heels of old boy getting knocked out in the Dark Order. And they left the motherfucker in the ring and work around him while he's laying there knocked out, bro. The ref didn't check on him, nothing. And, how many injuries from Stratlander to fucking Britt Baker. I mean, those are your three top girls. And now Abaddon they bring in and her looks different and they fucking kill her too. And we had just talked on the AEW Light the Fuse review about, what do you do with a character like Abaddon and that, and Silvio and I laid out for the Ascension, to come in and do something with Butcher and Blade and Bunny. And that's perfect, I think, for them on the weird, crazy front, and her casting, some type of seance. And thankfully our brothers, APOC and Big Connor retweeted it because those are two of the best guys that have been quietly forgotten about since the Future Endeavorment. You want to talk about one of the best workers I've ever seen in the ring? It's Rick Victor, APOC, hands down. And Big Connor has got all the goddamn size in the world to do whatever he wants to, and they were fucked on their debut on the main roster. They were awesome in NXT and then people loved them. And then because Vince or whoever wants them to come out and shit on Hawk and Animal, and we're not Legion of Doom, fuck those guys. Like, dude, instead of let's get Animal to give them the shine, let's fucking learn from that. Not that Abaddon is Legion of Doom or Animal, but now she's hurt. She's a character, and there's an opportunity to go off of this with her recovery. She needs somebody backing her up now, and bubble, bubble, child in trouble. And she can do all this shit with a fucked up voice. Get her a goddamn Kane voice box modifier. Stock it. And fucking she conjures up the Ascension, and now she doesn't have to work. Now she can get these guys over. Now we can do good business with Butcher, Blade, and Bunny. There's tons of things we could do in there with them, man. But I appreciated those guys retweeting that and getting our looks up. And I believe that those three kind of need each other right now. It would be a great portal to bring them in through her character.
Yeah. Almost like the idea too. We talked a little bit about, the things they do in the ring could even work, in a mystical way. Say, if the more pain the Awakening inflicts on their opponents, the more it helps Abaddon to heal, and she needs to heal. You know what I mean? And that can play into it.
I gave Susio the push there. This was you and I. I was
just going to let it slide. I was like, no, I guess.
Big week. My head's up.
That's fine.
But no, that was your idea, because you did punch that up, and I love that she becomes more and more beautiful with every ounce of blood they spill.
Yeah, that was that reverse Hellraiser kind of deal. Yeah, but that would be a great story arc too.
That's great stuff, Ted.
And you say, if anything, now's the time to do it, when she is working, and can't do anything in the ring, I assume, for a little bit as she's injured, but still be able to utilize her in a way that gets her over. So when the time is right, of course, I'm always big on it. And I know Stevie Richards big on it. If you can, get over in a way where you don't have to take bumps, then keep doing that. That's what's really going to get you over. If that's working and you're not even having to get in the ring and do anything, keep going with it.
100%, man. Especially if she's coming back off of that shit. And her character isn't, if you got them big bastards with you, you don't need to wrestle. The payoff is only a shitty 6 with Allie. You know what I mean? Fuck it. Let them be valets and be the manager and control that shit and have the story. We could come up with a cool story between Allie and her as well to subsect that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of good stuff there. Shout out to the Ascension, man.
And they could even have the girls. I know they just brought back the Bunny, but they could also have the girls. If you wanted to go this way in just another direction, they could tell both teams to fuck off, and then they're the new hot team. Because I know they're wanting to build the women's tag division. It seems like you could do something with that.
Yeah, you build
at the end of the story.
You build pretty girls, and you didn't even think that Abaddon and Bunny were going to come in and fuck with that world, because their world's going by their own. And then as you end that world, you would just have them be the surprise entrance and see all the fucking hot blondes lose their mind.
Right. Yeah.
Great. I think all that's good stuff, man. Her match was against Ty Conti, who does I believe she does martial arts. So maybe she hit her with something shoot in the fucking snabits and dropped her, bro. But I know what they did to repair that, and I'm kind of excited to see that. Not that I'm excited that anybody got hurt, but I'll talk more about the story of what I know next week. I can't stooge it off now. Shorty G Quits. We talked about it after being thrashed by Lars Sullivan in a Sky High, and soon he'll become Gable. We'll see. We already covered that earlier. Ben Carter officially signs with WWE. The 22-year-old standout from the UK, I'm sure a good friend of old Athers and MacGyver's over there, has been on a tear through the independent scene this year while making appearances for Impact and AEW. It's also rumored for several weeks that he was headed for WWE, but the news was officially confirmed by the Observer today. In September, Carter worked matches against Ricky Starks and Lee Johnson on AEW Dark, leading to a show-stealing match with Scorpio Sky on his first ever Late Night Dynamite. He also had great showings with Brian Cage at Warrior Wrestling and MLW's Jordan Olive for GCW. Well, 22 years old, this kid must have a damn good business mind if he's getting shots at Impact, All Elite, GCW, and MLW to become an indie darling. I mean, he looks good-looking, blonde-headed kid. He kind of looks like Spanky. What's his name?
Brian Kendrick.
Yeah, Kendrick, a little bit to me. And young and cool, man, but made the rounds at 22 years old and is now signed to NXT. That is impressive, because I only saw one of his appearances and I haven't heard his name a lot, but I like that, man. Good for that kid. Hopefully
it's one of the most valuable things that they don't teach you, really, and it's how to market yourself and get yourself booked and get yourself networked in with different people, and to be able to do that at 22 years old is extremely impressive. And I have to imagine, I haven't even seen the kid, but I have to imagine he's got a very bright future if he's already able to get himself in the big picture that quickly.
Yeah, totally. I agree with that, man. And he's not a freak show either, so he must have good fundamentals, and he's got some sex appeal to him. He's a little sexy. But in our final story today, a guy we know about who is one of the sons of Rip, and you can go over to patreon.com/Hamin Media Group, hear the first episode of the Hustler FR podcast. I'm excited. The second one's in the can, but one segment that I like, and we'll talk about you and plenty of everybody else, from Mark Henry to whoever. There's a Sons of Rip segment in there, and this is one of the favorite Sons of Rip. A guy who works his ass off, Drake Maverick, discusses doing things others aren't willing to do in wrestling. He recently appeared on the Uncool with Alexa Bliss podcast. He said, one thing that Maverick can never be criticized about is not making the most of his minutes. No matter what the situation with WWE NXT Superstar, always puts in 110% of what he does. Sometimes has led to him being in some very unenviable positions. However, when talking to Bliss, Maverick discussed being willing to go further than others to make things entertaining. He says, now when you're talking to the guy, when people ask to pee himself on the worldwide pay-per-view in front of millions of people, I said, yeah, I'll do it. A lot of people will be walking around today embarrassed if they did that. Did it entertain people? Did people think it was stupid? Maybe. Did they react to it? It's a badge of honor to do something like that. I do stuff that makes other people happy at the expense of myself because I can take it. That's just a small snippet of who he is and that they put in there. But like, here's a guy who nobody expected him to be the winner out of the Impact Star Search there, and he comes over the top. I thought I would have signed the Blossoms. There's more money on two hot twin girls, but nope, they take Rockstar Spud, and he goes, watch me, bro. I'm going to do everything you give me, from EC3 to Idol Stevens as a supporting player to Dixie, and I'm going to get myself over with facials, being the butt of the joke because everybody else doesn't want to. And he's tiny, so that separates him from other guys too. Rob Terry, and him together. Great stuff from Rockstar Spud always. And in my opinion, when he came from the UK, it was after I left OVW, but I had come back maybe 2 or 3 times in that next year or two. And he was very cool, and we hung out, and a ton of respect for that guy, and in the fact that he gets it from the work business, but there isn't any ego, and he takes all of Rip Rogers' lessons and applies them fully. Oh, you need a fucking this? Yeah, I can do that. Hey, can you ride a motorcycle? Sure, I can. Can you ride a horse? Sure, I can. You ever ridden a motorcycle horse? No, but I'll learn by tomorrow. Hey, can you speak Italian? Yeah, I speak fluent Italian. All right, get on the plane. We're flying to Milan, Italy, and you're going to be the next Intercontinental Champion night 1. Guess who that was? Santino Marella. This is Santino.
I actually put the audio book on his iPod so he could learn how to speak Italian on the plane on the way over.
I mean, you're only going to get that here at the Monday Locker Room. Put the audio book, the Rosetta Stone, on Santino's iPod for him. So while he's kayfabing WWE office because they wanted somebody to win the title in Italy that night, and Rip telling us those exact things. You speak Italian? You bet I do, brother. Spaghetti, pizza, I fucking say it all. In that time period, it's whatever it is, 14 hours, international flight, he's learning all that he can. Because here's his opportunity. And Santino Marella, not a signed indie guy, one of us. A dude who showed up on his own dime. A dude who was playing a Russian. And now they know he's Italian, but can you play Italian for us? You already do one stereotype. Sure, I can. Can I be a Russian tomorrow instead of Middle Eastern? Yeah. If I shave this beard, could I be Latino and have the pencil beard? Absolutely. But this is what the Sons of Rip segment is about. And we're all cut from this same cloth. And he's trying to tell it here on Alexa Bliss's podcast, which blows my fucking mind from the start, because if she was a Rip girl, Alexa Bliss wouldn't have no podcast. She'd be going, my push is with The Fiend in the main event. I'm not going to do this shit to blow my heat off. Meanwhile, this weekend, she's with her dumb little boyfriend, and they're in bed, and she's going blah, 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 on his lips. She goes, why are we like this? And fucking dude, I just want to come in with a fucking cast iron skillet and start smashing faces in. It is brutal. Throw hot grease on you. It's fucking brutal. I retweeted her. I go, she goes, what first of all, why are we like this? I go, first of all, you don't give a shit about your creative. Like that shit blows. I don't care how hot she is. She can cut a promo, whatever, dude. When you go away and you're reinvented in the main storyline and you think that's the fucking cute thing to do, that's the exact opposite of what she's got. The guy on her show who's the exact opposite of that. He was getting fired, knew that if he cut a promo where he pleaded and cried and begged a little bit and show how much it was affected, that it would get him back in the push as an under babyface to he didn't have to win the tournament. He just had to do good enough to get the contract and be endeared to the fans, because he knows this shit is phony and that titles don't mean shit. Emotions are everything. And Rockstar Spud can pluck that in a comedy way, in an empathy way, in a David and Goliath way, in a cool guy rock where he thinks he's 6'4", 280 pounds, but he's not type of way. Like Rockstar Spud is one of the best Sons of Rip examples I can fucking think of do whatever job they tell you to do, and you do it better than everybody else.
Yeah. He knows how to commit to the bit. Cheap plug on the last edition of the Next Level Wrestling Review, I believe, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think it was Athers was actually telling a really cool story. So check that out. But the basis of it was Drake Maverick, working over in England, did some gimmick where he got knocked in the head or something like that. And his gimmick then was he thought it was like 10 years earlier. And so he thought he was back and just starting wrestling school.
I like that. Yeah.
And so he would literally set up the ring, set up the chairs, talk to the fans, work security, and just wait for his big shot. Apparently he would talk to guys. Well, did you see SmackDown last night? Dave Bautista, he looked great. You know what I mean? It's like Dave Bautista wasn't even on SmackDown.
So good.
You know, and just committing to the bit. And that's like, it got it over. I thought that was just a very cool example of just the professional that is Rockstar Spud, aka Drake Maverick.
And we got our own Shiloh Mount in the chat room right now. Another phenomenal worker, another great son of Rip that I can't wait to talk about on the Rip Rogers podcast. Big things popping off for him and his tag team partner, and also a lot more headaches coming in.
Yeah, right. And I'll stooge it off. We have the date finalized. We'll have a ticket site and everything, and we got more press releases. But since this is the locker room, I'll stooge off that. January 16th will be the launch for what we're calling Dream Pro Wrestling. This is just going to be our starting off anyway, our little regional promotion that's designed to get young, talented men and women the spotlight that really, unless you're in OVW and in that bubble, that you don't have. And we have the creative freedom to be able to go, I think, beyond just that of a wrestling school and be able to give guys opportunities to have big matches against known names that are both on the national and international stage, and be able just to provide great wrestling for those in the community here. And so we'll also be able to, besides those that don't live in the area, we'll have ways to broadcast it either via YouTube or some Fight Network or something. Mm-hmm. But January 16th will be the launch of Dream Pro Wrestling. Shiloh is in on the project as well, and we're very excited for it.
Well, I guess I'm out because you said for young men and women, so that fucks me. No, but I'm proud of you guys taking all your doctorate and master's degree level in wrestling and going out and putting your asses on the line, doing your own thing. And I'll be here with Strangler Steve, and if you need help from Josh to anything, because becoming that promoter, I mean, even though we've all worked the top levels and every job at OVW that needed to be done, when you're out there and it's on your brand, it's just a little bit more serious, so more so. So, I know there's no Mark Mines and Money Marks in that crew, and it's going to be great shows from top to bottom with talent that should have been getting a shine long before they have. So hopefully now people will stand up, take notice, and there's going to be some really great stuff from Ohio, Indiana, Tennessee, and Kentucky area, you guys, and hopefully all the way up to Chicago. I'd love to see you guys break in there too, because you've got the talent and skill to do it. Absolutely.
Yeah. We're just starting off in Southern Indiana, but I'm sure as time goes on, we'll start to expand and do some short shows around, around the loop. It'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And I want to end today on our Rockstar Spud story, man. a great son of Rip. And if, like I said, patreon.com/Hamin Media Group for the first Rip Rogers episode. I got the second one in the can already. Put that up this week, and we're going to try and get video done. We just got to get some technical hands out there to show Rip on how to do it, man. So hopefully the video will be coming soon. I got plenty of production today and things that I've taped from the woods yesterday, and I got to do a watch along and edit the Monday Locker Room for the rest of the marks who weren't here live at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman or at Ben Hamin YouTube. We appreciate you guys. Joe Raines, one step closer. You never know. I think you and I might be hanging out maybe in November there. Maybe you and I too, Beast. I might be coming down that way for Thanksgiving to the wives' in-laws and whatnot. So
yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited about the weeks ahead. I was hoping you'd tune in live because I had a little bit of the Guggenheimer whiskey this week too on Friday, Saturday night as well. We broke nice. Gook on her. But yeah, man, Beast, what do you got going on this week, brother?
Well, besides obviously making old women squat like I always do, continuing just to work on this Dream Pro Wrestling project, trying to get everything in line, get people confirmed, and just continuing to do the shows like always. We got Impact Attack, Next Level Wrestling Review. So be sure to check. And it's a big week for NXT. They got Halloween Havoc. Now, I will say that's actually been one of the better built shows. Now, granted, I only watch really Impact and NXT because that's all I really have time for. But I think NXT's done actually a pretty good job hyping up this little television special of Halloween Havoc. And I actually like it as a television special as well because I feel like it makes it kind of fun and campy, but at the same time, they still got a couple of the more serious stories in there as well. And I think they've done a really good job, like creating a little bit of a smorgasbord of a episode. And I'll be honest, I think it's been built up better than the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view they just did.
I can't disagree with that, man. And I think it's smart to have it on TV as well and give those kids a shine. And again, thank you for all that you do here at Hamin Media Group hosting those shows. I also saw Pat McAfee returning to NXT, so that'll be more big news with Oni Lorcan and Mick Jones there, his partner from UK. So I'd like to see those guys get a big push. I worked with Biff a fair amount in 2CW and a grade A dude, and I like the way he uses social media. Oni Lorcan pops the shit out of me. So Roberto C. Rodriguez makes it to the chat room right as we close down the show on the Monday morning locker room, Briz. So I'll hopefully have this out for you in the next couple hours. I do got to go deal with some client side stuff. It might be a little later this afternoon. We'll see. Regardless, it'll be out before Raw anyway. I saw Tables, Adders, and Chairs do a little rib video on Gargano, who hates wheels. So we'll see how that goes for him on the Wheel of Doom. What else I got going on this week? All the shows as we keep it live going into election season. Some new Stooge report from Canada on a BitChute video of a leaked email talking about FEMA camps, rendition camps in Canada, for COVID-2, which is all part of a bigger globalist agenda. We'll be talking that as well this week on Conspiracy Horseman. Look forward to getting with all my co-hosts to talk the AEW stuff as well and go back and do Impact Bound for Glory in depth a little bit more. Along with, we'll see what happens on the Impact Attack, on Impact taping tomorrow night on Twitch. I'll be doing the watch along with that. Well, actually, I might not be doing the watch along because the Horror Junkyard, twitch.tv/the Horror Junkyard. You guys subscribe now and follow now because we're going to be doing the Halloween watch along, I think, Tuesday night, where it's going to be our own little Mystery Science Theater 3000. So I'll probably host it on Conspiracy Horseman Twitch as well as being over there. But obviously, it's Big Sal, it's Chuck, it's me, GGP, and Stevie. So it's going to be a good time, man. A lot of ribs and extra Halloween content. So get your costumes ready, infidels. Do some extra squats. Get that cardio in before you start shoving all that shit, candy and sugar in your mouth because nobody's coming trick-or-treating this year. So you bought an extra bag of Almond Joys. So you got to suck those down, don't you? Yeah, but we're going to work it out at StevieRichardsFitness.com. That's right, thebrosters.com, 5-pound bag, and ZordosOliveOil.com. But at the end of the day, I saw some ProWrestlingTees.com/Ben Hamin sales this weekend, infidels. So I look forward to the new members of the Hamin Army. Get over there to Discord so your cell can get greenlit and we can tear this industry down together with it. bound for hell, the tribal queef himself giving you tribal grief. It's Dr. Ted. It's Hacker Hamin. And I might not show up for your show, Botchamania, COVID, whatever excuse I want to give. That's what I'm going to do, infidels, here on your Monday morning locker room. Yalla.